Hello and welcome. Conservative View from New Hampshire is a daily podcast where we shine a light on the happenings of the day. Conservative View from New Hampshire is a proud partner of and contributor to the Liberty Loft. My name is Ray Cardello, and I'm your host for today's podcast. So let's get started with today's commentary for April 16th, 2022. This is episode 10 of season 10. Poor BLM is triggered. A Black Lives Matter co-founder recently purchased a $6 million home in California with funds donated to the organization. The home was put in the name of a shell company and purchased for $2.5 million over the asking price. Perkins Coie was the legal firm that handled the transaction. You may recognize that law firm for various Clinton stories. They know how to get to the bottom of a story. The home was paid for with cash and is not being used for BLM-related activities. Co-founder Patrice Cois has lived there for some time, as has her mother. There was no Form 990 ever drafted to disclose the purchase to donors, which the IRS requires of all charitable organization. Cois feels triggered by the sound of the term Form 990 and claims it is being weaponized against her and BLM. Says that she and BLM have done nothing wrong here. It is the IRS and the government that are doing wrong, and BLM must stop it. She said this all with a straight face. Amazing gall. This is not the first purchase of property by the Black Lives Matter group. They have bought property in the United States and Canada, all with cash from donations. The financial dealings of BLM have been under question for some time. But though reported donations are in the millions, some say they are really in the billions. Where has all that green cash gone? Many of us knew from day one that this organization was a scam. It sold itself on good intentions, but was nothing more than a Ponzi scheme to squeeze money out of the sympathetic donors, convince low-level volunteers that it was all for the good of oppressed blacks, and skim money from the top for the few in on the scheme. There were always two BLMs. There was the reason that the organization was formed, the treatment of blacks, the issues with police, the gangs, the needless killings of innocent blacks in big cities like Chicago needed attention. There was thinking across color lines that the purpose was genuine, but the money handling and the political arm of BLM was questionable at best. Even at the local level in New Hampshire, the BLM chapter had lists of unreasonable demands that were putting on anyone elected in the state. They used their influence to force people into school departments, such as the DEIJ director hired by the school administration. We are getting little for the $150,000 that this person is paid, and it is nearly $60,000 more than a person hired to a similar position in a much bigger district in the state's capital. His salary is 3 times the average wage for teachers in the district. Teachers are being terminated because of falling enrollment, but we have a DEIJ director. I contend that since the BLM organization is exposed as a financial sham, anyone hired because of BLM be removed. The streets of big cities that were defaced to honor BLM should be painted over. BLM and its followers will claim racism when they do. BLM should be called out for what they are and what they have failed to do. They should be forced to account for every donation, and taxes must be paid or individuals need to be indicted for the misuse of funds. And finally, the leaders that are attempting to turn this back on the government need to be silenced. You have done wrong, own it, pay for your sins, including shutting down local chapters. Thank you for joining me today. You have been listening to Conservative View from New Hampshire, a proud partner of the Liberty Loft. We hope you have enjoyed today's podcast and will share it with a friend. Until tomorrow, make the best of yourself and your day.